Coach Stork getting the job done. This guy is on everybody. I love it. We got a wrestling guy. Coach Stork, you got a wrestling background, yeah?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Where are you from?
I'm from Iowa. I'm from Iowa originally, Southwest Iowa, Atlantic, Iowa. Grew up wrestling from the time I was little and wrestled at Luther College, Division III for Dave Mitchell.
Okay. So you wrestled in D3.
Yes.
So that's rare when you have a strength and conditioning coach in D1 who understands the rigor and grind of wrestling, right?
Yeah,
it's long season.
It gives me a unique perspective I know what January, February feels like in the season. I'm able to kind of tailor, especially our high volume guys, some of their volumes and workouts in here to kind of help them feel fresh and stay strong and healthy in season, hopefully.
I look at a lot of these D1 strength and conditioning coaches, and you don't have quite as good of a mustache as some of those guys on the sidelines. I'm a little disappointed, I'm not going to lie to you.
A lot of my professional development has been how to get the beard to come in better and the mustache. So once I get the facial hair figured out, I think we'll have a good thing rolling here.
You normally don't see a strength and conditioning coach on the sidelines with a big juicy cauliflower ear, right?
No.
So it's a change of pace, right?
So that's why I don't have the good mustache, but I do have, I think, a quality ear. Maybe due to not wearing headgear and being dumb when I was little, but it's a heck of a conversation starter now.
Ian could wrestle over here. He could really wrestle. I don't know if you know that he could wrestle.
I've seen some
Ian
things.
could wrestle, right?
Things, yeah.
Look at his ears. They're not all beat up.
No, that's...
He did something right.
Yeah, I probably should have listened maybe to my trainers more, and I used to get it drained, but I was just kind of stubborn, and now...
Guys are just born with those hands.
Yeah, they're grindy. They're just grindy, beady-uppy type of that.
Yeah, I can't wear AirPods anymore, so it's got its downfalls.
Yeah,
but
somebody tried to tell me to buy AirPods. I was like, I can't do it. It doesn't work.
I'm an over-the-year guy.
Yeah, I'm an over-the-year guy. Got you. Okay, so they're about to start season, right?
Yes.
Next Wednesday's official practice start. What would be the biggest thing you wanted them to get out of preseason, right? Like you got an All-American on the team, 7 returning qualifiers. It's a good squad. Somehow didn't win the Southern Conference. I don't know. We got to go look at the scoring, maybe. I don't know. But when you have that many guys punch through the NCAA tournament, they got a solid foundation.
Yes. What
do you want them to get out of the preseason, and what do you want them to have going into the season, I guess?
First and foremost, healthy. Healthy, feeling good, feeling strong. So we've been on a big... In the beginning of the offseason, we hit some of our more volume when our mat time was kind of lower. Now that our mat time's cranking up, I'm keeping the volume pretty low in here, the intensity pretty high. We're still getting after some strength movements, building some good quality strength. Then as we progress this kind of next phase into our first our season, then our first competition, be a lot of our more power stuff, so starting to get these guys to turn a little bit twitchy, starting getting them a little bit more explosive. We'll take the bar kind of off their back. We have these belt squats back here. We belt squat these guys, something that's a little bit more of a dynamic movement and kind of take some load off their back. It's mainly getting these guys feeling strong, fast, and healthy. That's number one, because we all know in wrestling these guys get beat up. And I don't want the weight room to be beating them up anymore. I want them to be feeling better leaving the weight room.
You have to switch gears and go do football after this, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's it's different, but it's the same, right?
Yeah.
5 to 7 second explosion, but this is over this is piecing together many 5 to 7 second explosions, a scramble, a double leg, a stand up off the mat, like Granby roll, a mat return, right?
Yes.
That is, football is block someone, sustain a block, right? Tackle someone, put them on the ground, right?
There's a lot of crossover because it's still manipulating your body against somebody else's in space, especially our line of scrimmage guys and things like that. So each sport involves kind of bursts of energy. Football is going to have a lot more time off. They're going to have about a 3 to 6 second burst, depending on the offense, defense, 20, 30 seconds break. And they're going to have a 2-minute break where the defense is not on the field, the offense is going, the defense sitting down, getting their plays right, and things like that. And so this is going to be a lot more bursts throughout the whole game. It's a 3-hour game. But wrestling, it's still more of it's not a long, slow grind, although there's definitely matches that feel like that. But wrestling really comprises of short bursts of energy, a little bit of a break, 10, 15 seconds off, big burst of energy, little break, big burst of energy. So I'm trying to make sure these guys have the power and the strength they need for those small bursts of energy.
If you're Coach John Mark Bentley, you're Ian, you're Randall, and you can go into a kid's living room and say, hey, we have a wrestling, sport-specific strength and conditioning coach. Not many people have that in D1.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
Most of the guys are football-oriented, or they're another Olympic sport-oriented track people a lot of the time. How huge is that for you guys to have you here have a wrestling guy who understands the grind, understands the long season?
Anytime you have somebody that knows the sport, it's going to help out a ton. And I will say there's some strength coaches out there that I've been able to have contact with that don't have the deepest wrestling background, but are absolutely excellent wrestling strength coaches. And so when it comes down, I mean, most sports, a lot of field sports, they kind of pull from the same varieties. Everyone's sprinting, everyone's jumping, everyone's, if it's soccer, things like that, cutting. But wrestling, it's unique. It's unique. These guys get put into different positions. They need kind of a different stimulus, especially in season, just with what their practice load looks like. And so if you have somebody who's been familiar with the sport and been around the sport, it's going to be big. And just for me to be able to kind of communicate with these guys and I can share experiences, it's the same way as, I go into that football room. If somebody played at a high level of football at, the University of Minnesota, they're able to kind of relate with our football guys a little bit more on the sports side of the aspect. But the same way I'm able to kind of relate to these guys a little bit more because I know what the last couple minutes of a 7-minute match feels like, and I know what it's like getting your butt whooped. I know what it's like hopefully whooping some butt. I'm able to just kind of be able to communicate and relate to these guys a little bit more, which always helps out with buy-in to the program for sure.
Growing up, were you a Hawk or a Cyclone man?
Cyclone.
Oh, wow. I don't get that one that much. You'd be surprised.
So I actually went to Iowa State for 2 years out of high school. Didn't compete with the wrestling program at all, did some club wrestling stuff, and was pretty banged up after high school and kind of was in a bad spot and stepped away from the sport and was able to come back into the sport and fell back in love with it and did my 5 years. But it was Cyclones all the way. My dad graduated from there. I was a Cyclone fan from the time I was born.
So Cyclones.
Yes, sir.
Ames all the way.
Bobby Douglas growing up.
Oh, nice.
All those guys, and then going through. Obviously, it's been great to see what Dresser's doing with that program over there.
Have you been on the mat? Are you a grinder anymore? I can see by your ear and your face you were a grinder.
Yeah.
Now with these new duties, new job, can you get on the mat at all?
So gratefully, I just got promoted within the football realm. So it's been kind of my schedule's been full up. I haven't been able to be on the mat as much as I want to. A couple years ago, I helped Kerry Miller out the heavyweight, warmed him up a few times, which that was a good welcome back into wrestling. He's a big, strong dude. But I'll hop in every once in a while, but I won't lie to you. I need to get back on there more. I might be getting a little rusty, maybe a little soft in my old age.
Well, 14, 16-hour days as a strength coach in a D1 school is not going to really allow for that.
No.
All right, hey, I know you got stuff to do. You got to go to football. You got anything else for me?
No, just if anybody does want to reach out, I guess I could probably find my contact information. It's my Twitter tag is Stork184, an old weight class.
Because you were a 184 guy.
But if you ever want to reach out, have any more questions or anything, I would love to. I could talk shop all day.
Stork84.
That is what it is.
Coach Stork, thank you for the time. These guys are moving on here. I know you got to go and maybe do a little micromanaging and make sure guys are doing the right things. So.
Oh, absolutely. These guys, this group works hard. These guys, I feel like I can tell them to spin in a circle and they'd ask, clockwise or counterclockwise. Like these guys, they love to work, but I just got to kind of make sure we're always, technique-wise and things like that. There's always something to be coaching. So,
thank you for the time, Coach.
Absolutely. Thank you.